she's not just a fan, she's his #1 fan. Welcome to Snobtober 2025, where we've been deep diving into the shadows of horror history, and today we hit a psychological pressure point with Misery. I'm Mick Manhattan, and this is the Snobs Film History Classic Film Review. Let's talk about one of the most terrifying performances to ever win an Oscar. Directed by Rob Reiner and based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, Misery tells the story of best-selling author Paul Sheldon, played by James Caan, who crashes his car in a remote snow-covered Colorado pass. He's rescued by Annie Wilkes, a former nurse and his self-proclaimed #1 fan, played by Kathy Bates in an Oscar-winning role. At first, Annie seems like a savior, but when she learns Paul has killed off her favorite character in his latest novel, the tone shifts from admiration to imprisonment. Misery was a departure for Rob Reiner, who had just come off with a comedy, When Harry Met Sally, and a drama also based on a Stephen King story, Stand By Me. But his tight direction and use of confined space brought King's psychological dread to life with suffocating precision. Kathy Bates wasn't a household name at the time, but her performance as Annie Wilkes earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress, the first time a woman had won an Oscar for a horror role. Interestingly, Jack Nicholson was originally considered for the role of Paul, but turned it down after the psychological intensity of The Shining. James Caan, however, delivers a brilliantly restrained performance that gives Bates the room to completely dominate the screen. Oh, and about the hobbling scene? Originally, King wrote it as Annie amputating Paul's foot with an axe. The film toned it down to something slightly more digestible, the infamous sledgehammer. Still brutal, still unforgettable. Upon its release in 1990, Misery was both a critical and box office success. Critics praised its tight pacing, claustrophobic atmosphere, and the twisted brilliance of Bates' performance. It's now considered one of the best Stephen King adaptations ever put to screen, right up there with The Shining, Carrie, and The Shawshank Redemption, thanks in large part to Reiner's grounded approach and the psychological tension over cheap thrills. Beyond horror fans, Misery became a template for films about obsession, fandom, and power dynamics. And its influence can still be seen in everything from The Room to Gerald's Game, another Stephen King adaptation. Annie Wilkes even made her way into pop culture lore, referenced in Family Guy, The Simpsons, immortalized on countless top villains lists. Misery doesn't just rely on gore or monsters. Its horror is purely human, and that's why it hits harder. It's like a brutal reminder that sometimes your worst nightmare is sitting right next to you with a smile. Thanks again to Sir Sturdy of Sturd-O-Vision for curating our 2025 Snobtober lineup. So far, we've covered Two Evil Eyes, Wolf, In the Mouth of Madness, and now Misery. Next week, we close out September with a cult classic, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Let us know what you thought of Misery. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Scene Snobs channel for more deep dives into film history, horror, and beyond. Hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. Join our Patreon. Free tier gets our newsletter, Discord access, giveaways, and more. Paid tiers unlocks bonus content and helps out the channel immensely. Thank you. And hey, follow us on Letterboxd and all other social media at The Scene Snobs for my full reviews, which are written, video, and podcasts. Thank you guys so much. I'm Mick Manhattan, and this was Snobs Film History. Remember, never underestimate the power of a fan with a sledgehammer. Take care of yourselves, that's important. Be kind, rewind, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.